So I want to switch up a little bit today on what I'm doing. I get to meet a lot of interesting people in my job, both from an interesting perspective of how are you like a human being to people that have incredible stories. And I want to share one of those incredible stories with you. First off, I do want to address my tie. Thank you, Chris Phelps from Accurate Mortgage. We went out to lunch. He found out I was a Colts fan, got me this, so I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So, like I said, I get to meet a lot of interesting people. I had an opportunity a couple of Thursdays ago to meet an individual that really wowed me. He had some land for sale that was in Franklin. We met at a gas station and we drove up. I followed him. And one thing that I did love about him is he drove really fast. So I was happy in my little Lexus following him. We get up to the piece of land. I see he's got, when he opens the door, he's got two crutches. So I was like, okay, he's got a broken leg or something like that. So I get out of my car and he gets out and I see that he's missing his right leg. So we start talking about the land. We start talking about some of the things that he planned on doing with the land and then kind of get into what happened in 2010. So he was affected by the flood that we had here in Nashville. There was a huge flood. If you don't know about it, Google it. And there was a lot of people affected by that. And he was in his house, trapped in his house. Their Subaru had floated down the street, so there was no way that they could get out, and they were stuck inside their house. Well, at some point, the doors busted open, knocked them to the floor, and they were kind of fighting for their lives for about 15 minutes before the fire department came in and was able to rescue them. Within those 15 minutes, something had happened. 5 days prior to that, this guy had had hip surgery and his wound had opened back up when he fell down. And throughout that 15 minutes that he waited in that water, he ended up getting E. coli and they had to cut his leg from the hip. So just didn't have his right leg at all. When I heard that story, like my jaw just dropped. Like, how could something happen just so quickly? And it really, for me, it was, I feel like I'm grateful, but it made me even more grateful for health, family, the things that we take for granted every day. It made me realize a little bit more that there are other people that are going through so much, and for something to be taken away so quickly, you could tell that this, he had told me that he was active, and this was the worst thing that ever happened in his life, but he was still moving on and still trucking ahead. And that story to me, it really struck a chord with me. It made me realize how grateful I should be, and I'm not grateful enough. But I just wanted to share that story. I think that it's an incredible story to tell. Be grateful for the things that you have. Cherish the things that you have, because in a moment, they could all be taken away. So that's all I have. I just wanted to share that story with you guys. Thank you guys. Have a great week. I'll see you next week.